Sorry guys, I'm a bit late to the Thai GP race review thanks to my mic dying on me, so I had to record it again. Okay, anyways, let's talk about the race and what a race it was. Actually, it was pretty boring at the front, not gonna lie. Marc Marquez was in a league of his own, or in the words of Paco Bagnaia, Marc was toying with the field. Except for that little tire pressure hiccup in the main race, it was a dream Ducati debut weekend for Marc. He got pole, the sprint win and the main race victory, scoring maximum points and inflicting maximum damage on his opponents. He seemed so much in the groove from the first practice session, no mistakes, just an all-round smooth weekend. I feel a lot of it had to do with the testing they had there before. I think that helped Marc a lot on that circuit. Paco, on the other hand, never looked fully confident in the testing, and it continued during the race weekend. 2 third-place finishes were a decent effort from Paco, but we expected a bit more from him in the main race, as for a couple of years now he's been known as the Sunday man. I don't think Paco can be satisfied with his performance this last weekend. He has said that he needs to improve a few things, and rightfully so. He looked nowhere near challenging Marc or even Alex. Though I also feel like Paco starts like this every year and gets stronger and stronger as the season builds up. He just needs to find that sweet spot with the bike setup, and I think he'll be back fighting for the top spot. So I'm not worried about Paco. I think we'll see much stronger form from him in the coming races. Now, the runner-up the whole weekend was the younger Marquez brother, Alex. And what a performance we saw from Alex. He was second on the grid, second in the sprint, and second in the main race. I mean, fair to say that Alex has made a big step forward this year. He's at the front from the get-go, and I feel if he continues this strong form, he'll be in the top 3 fighting for the championship. As Alex mentioned, the GP24 suits his riding style way better than the GP23 he rode last year, and is way closer to the factory bikes in terms of performance, at least at the beginning of the season. I was not expecting Alex to hold off Paco on Sunday, to be honest, but yeah, amazing pace from Alex. Now, the Ducatis were somewhat expected to be at the front, so for me, the standout rider from the Thai GP was Ayagura, the rookie on the Trackhouse Aprilia. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name. I mean, what a MotoGP debut. Straight into one of the best rookie debuts ever. On Saturday, he kept Paco on his toes the whole sprint race, and on Sunday, he finished 5th behind the Ducatis. He was the best non-Ducati rider the whole weekend, and made the experienced factory Aprilia rider Marco Bezzecchi look silly in the first race of the season. I think this kid has a very bright future in MotoGP and will achieve great things in the sport. Among the rookies, his performance was on another level. Another rookie who performed beautifully was the Thai rider Songkya Chantra. He was on the Idemitsu Honda and had a very clean race. Since he was on a Honda, there weren't too many expectations from him, so yeah, brilliant debut by him as well. Another rookie rider was Fermin Aldeguer, and his 2 13th place finishes seemed a bit underwhelming compared to the brilliance of Ayagura. Yes, it was only the first race, and he is still learning the bike, but I expected a bit more from Fermin, to be honest, considering how much hype was around him when Ducati signed him last year. I personally think there is more to Fermin, as I think he is a very talented rider and will improve drastically over the season. Now, there were some other riders who also impressed, and they were Franco Morbidelli, Enea Bastianini, Johan Zarco, and Jack Miller. Starting with Frankie, I think he did a superb job. Finally, it feels like the old Frankie is back, the one from the Yamaha days. He looks very confident on the GP24, having a year's worth of experience on that bike, and is immediately at the sharp end of the grid. I feel we'll see Frankie in the top 5 positions consistently this season. Enea was another rider who really took a big leap on Sunday after having a torrid time on Friday and Saturday. He made a brilliant comeback to 9th place in the main race, starting from the last grid. He is still getting familiarized with the new KTM bike, but I think after last weekend, Enea will be in a much better mental space. And as usual, Johan Zarco was the lead Honda once again, with his brilliant 10th in the sprint and 7th place in the main race. It does seem like Honda has made some progress, but we'll see how the next races pan out for them. Terrible work by the TV director though. as we missed a lot of action at the back because the TV director was glued to the front as Marc was to Alex's rear tire. I feel this should at least have shown replays of the overtakes in the midfield. Very disappointing direction work in the Thai GP. Now, there were a few big names that didn't quite match their reputation during the weekend, and they were Pedro Acosta, Fabio Quartararo, and Alex Rins. Acosta just didn't seem very confident with the bike as he was last year. I'm not sure if that was a circuit-specific issue with his KTM, or if they are generally slow overall, because if that's the case, it would be a shame not to see Pedro fighting at the front. And after showing hints of brilliance and promising developments in the testing, it was an underwhelming weekend from the factory Yamaha boys, especially Fabio, who looked very quick and confident in the testing. I was expecting him to be in the top 6 honestly. Like I said, perhaps it was circuit specific or a change in conditions caused the bike to behave differently, but that was really surprising from Yamaha. It looked as if they took a step backward despite good performance from Miller. Now let's come to the questions, starting with what we learned from the first race, and will anyone be able to challenge Marc Marquez this season? To be honest, I don't think we learned much from the first race. The conditions were extreme, nothing like last year or the testing, so it's a bit hard to trust the manufacturer's standings from this race alone. Except for the Ducatis, they are miles ahead of the rest of the field. Besides them, it's hard to tell where the other teams currently stand. And the same for Marc Marquez's question. It's too early to say anything. In tough conditions, Marc used his experience to basically control the whole weekend from the get-go. And on the best bike, he was always going to be ahead of the rest. I don't think it will repeat on every other circuit, but I do expect similar domination on circuits he's a master at, like Kota, Argentina, Sachsenring, and Aragon. To be honest, he's strong on most circuits, so yeah, it's tough to say. But I do expect Pecco and others to challenge him more closely on the upcoming tracks. So as of yet, I don't think it will be a cakewalk for Marc. And that's it for this video guys. If you enjoyed it, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below who you think will win this year's MotoGP championship, and I'll see you all in the next video.